Well, good afternoon, everyone. Here we are on this Wednesday for our very first of our Back to Work Wednesday virtual live broadcast. We want to thank our sponsor, Texoma Medical Center, for bringing us this feature every single Wednesday during the month of July. We will be featuring different employers from across North Texas and Southern Oklahoma who are looking for good employees, and they're looking for good employees right now. I'm Big Dave from Mad Rock. We've got Zach Grantham from Katy Country and Alan Fremont from 97.5 KLAK all joining us here today. But I think it's about time, guys, that we bring up our featured employer for the week. What do you think?
I think so.
Let's do it.
All right, so we've got Tasha and we've got Amanda here from the WindStar Hotel. How are y'all today?
We're good, thank you.
Excellent.
Hi.
Well, I'm going to flip you guys around. Now, the reason why I'm playing with you guys on the screen here is because you're literally sitting next to each other.
Correct.
In your office. So whenever we were practicing this a little while ago, like, look at each other right now. Yeah, see, it was freaking us out a little bit. So I was like, no, I got to fix that. We gotta fix that. So if they do look at each other, now look at each other. Now
What if we look the other way?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
Yeah,
we
see?
looking at each other?
No, you're gonna mess me up with that. All right.
Oh, my head hurts.
Oh, great.
But we want to welcome you on here to our Back to Work Wednesday live virtual broadcast here, because you have a lot of jobs there at the WindStar Casino and Resort Hotel, right?
We do, and we are actually growing. So this is just a little drop in the bucket. There's more to come. Currently, I think there's around 20 jobs that we have out there that are posted.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's ever changing.
So let's talk about that. First, I got to bring up your awesome, I love that logo. It just
I didn't
stands out.
actually create that, but
Yeah.
so I don't own the rights to that, but thank you.
Yeah, great stuff though. I mean, so let's talk about, all right. So let's talk about some of those jobs. All right. So we're going to talk about all of the ones that I saw when I created these. But you were telling us before we started our broadcast that one of these is already filled, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So let's talk about this first group. So we have a list of some of these jobs. And so Tasha and Amanda, you can tell us which one's been filled or which ones, if you have multiple, a little bit about that. Now, the link that you see there, the windstarhotel.applicantpool.com/jobs, that's where you need to go if any of these jobs we talk about here today appeal to you and you'd like to apply for it. So let's talk about some of these, like Bellman and Chief Engineer, Daily Financial Coordinator, Front Desk Agent, and Front Desk Supervisors.
Yep. And one thing just before we get started that I would like to note, a lot of people hear WindStar and think the casino off the bat.
The hotel.
But one thing I do want to make sure that everyone understands that this portion is for the hotel side. So we do all of the hiring for the hotel. And as you mentioned, we have Bellman that are out there. Amanda, do you want to talk a little bit about what Bellman do for the hotel?
Sure. So the Bellman, it's 100% customer service. They greet the guests whenever they arrive at the hotel. Sometimes the guests, they need assistance
with their luggage, whether it's loading it from their vehicles, taking it up to the rooms, and then vice versa. Once they're ready to check out, they will assist them loading their luggage from the rooms and then bringing it back down to their vehicles. So lots of walk-in, lots of talking.
Just 100% customer service is what that one is. So pretty much that one in a nutshell.
Now there are several.
Bill is going to be the chief engineer position. That one is no longer available.
Okay, so the chief engineer is gone.
Yep, he just started this week, and we're so happy to have him. So
that's a great problem to have.
It is.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something out there. If you're watching right now and you're, thinking about, you see some of these jobs, don't hesitate. Don't wait. Use that, the link and go to that link and start applying now, because that job that you're like, hey, I think I might want that, may be taken before we get done here today. So you got to make sure that you take care of that. So let's talk about Daily Financial Coordinator.
Yep, that's part. Those are the individuals that work under accounting, and they do all of our cash handling for the front desk. We don't see a lot of openings in this particular area. So these are few and far between. So if accounting or financial coordinating is something that you're interested in, I would say jump on it now, so we can get you in for an interview, because this position particular on the hotel side does not come open often. Um,
Now, are a lot of these jobs, are they required a specific amount of experience, or a lot of these that we'll post that we'll talk about here today, are they you'll train them for those types of jobs?
So I would say the majority of our jobs, we're more entry level, mid level,
Mhm.
but we will train you. Definitely, we'll take you through a training on our systems. I mean, obviously, if it's a chief engineer or like a supervisor role, you're going to have some type of previous work experience to fill those roles. But typically, 9 times out of 10, it's a position that we can train you in.
Okay. All right. And again, just a reminder, this is for WinStar Hotel. The hotel portion are all the jobs that we're talking about here today. So let's talk about the front desk agent and front desk supervisor. I think I have a pretty good idea what those do.
Yeah, so it's pretty much kind of self-explanatory.
Front desk agent. They're the first point of contact that our guests have at the hotel for the most part. So they're on stage making that good first impression for our guests. So they're greeting them, they're assisting them with checking them into their rooms or checking them out of their rooms, processing payments. It's customer service, so you have to be hospitality minded individual for this position. I would say this one would be probably more of an entry level type position if you are have that customer service drive, cash handling experience. But otherwise, as far as the software program or the system that they use, it's repetitive. So if you have some experience and if you can dabble in computer cash handling, they will train you on that. It's repetitive, so you'll be doing it day in and day out. And for front desk supervisor, they're going to be a step above the front desk agents. They're going to be kind of the go-to for any issues that may arise at the front desk, any sort of complaints or any issues. So that will be the front desk supervisor, and so they will have several front desk agents below them that they'll report to, and so lots of diffusing situations, customer service, just trying to make our guests happy at the end of the day. So that's kind of what that position is there. So
awesome. Well, again,
I mean, I would say you have to have some obviously supervisor experience, be able to work well under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I mean, hotel experience would be a plus too, but that would not be necessary. Just mainly customer service and management supervisor experience for that one.
Cool. Well, again, we're
Be a people person, definitely, to work at the front desk.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question. Is the hiring process pretty quick, or is it a quick turnaround, or how does that work?
Yes, we work fast and furious. So you apply on the link that was provided to you, the winstarhotel.applicantpool.com. We will typically go through, grab the resumes on a daily basis, schedule you for an interview. Once you're here for the interview process, it's a 2-step where you will meet with both either Amanda or myself, and then the hiring manager.
Okay.
So once we get through those 2 pieces, and you're passed and it's a go, we will run a background and send you for a COVID test. So we're still doing COVID tests. It's a 15-minute turnaround. Backgrounds are usually back within 3 days, 3 to 5 business days, no longer. So it's usually pretty quick. So if you're interviewing on let's say you're interviewing today, Wednesday, we could most likely probably get you in with a week's turnaround.
Wow.
And then you're always welcome to walk into the hotel at any time to fill out the application.
cool. Again, we're talking with Tasha and Amanda here from WinStar Hotel about some of the jobs that they have available. So let's go to our second slide here. So we've got this. Most of them are all in the same area, so it'd be easy to talk about. The houseperson, the hotel housekeeper, room attendants, housekeeping inspectors, and housekeeping supervisors.
So, go ahead, Amanda.
Okay. I'll talk about the housekeeper.
So the housemen, they're kind of like a runner, so to speak, for the housekeeping department. So they do a lot of assisting the housekeepers. So say, for instance, our housekeepers, they're in there cleaning a room. They only have a certain allotted amount of time that they can spend in that room.
Yeah.
So if they're running low on supplies, whether it be toiletries, linens, whatever case that may be, the housemen, they're kind of like the runner, like I said. So the housekeepers, they'll let the houseman know, hey, this is what I need. this is what room I'm in. Our housekeeper, they'll go retrieve those items because we are a large property. So the housekeepers don't have time to leave that room whenever they need to really spend as much time in there as they can to get it done. So they also are responsible they'll jump in and help strip the beds, restocking the housekeeper's carts at the end of the day to get everything prepared and ready for the next day. So that is what the house person does. That would be an entry-level position. Don't really have to have experience for that. That's definitely something that can be trained. Now, the housekeeper and the room attendant, that position definitely have to be, have the drive to work hard. That's a very physical position. Had no idea till I tried it one day, and I just for about the next 3 or 4 days. So I have a whole new respect for housekeepers. So it's very physical. It's very hard work. They're in there to make that room look brand new for the next guest. Our guests expect perfection as you and I would too if we go anywhere. So just making the room look clean from top to bottom, making beds, cleaning bathrooms, everything, spick and span. So that's what they have to do there. So that one would be an entry-level position as well. Just have to be willing to show up and work hard is kind of the most important. So because without our hotel rooms, we cannot accommodate our guests, and obviously if we don't have guests, we don't have jobs. So definitely one of the more important positions in my opinion for this hotel.
Now, I love how the fact that you guys have like a multi-level system when it comes to housekeeping, because you have the house person who's, sort of the go-to person to go get stuff that's needed. You got the housekeeper and room attendants, and then you have the inspectors and the supervisors. And you can correct me, but I'm assuming the housekeeping inspector, after the housekeeper has done their job, they go in, make sure everything's good. And that way that you can then clear that room to allow somebody else in there.
Yeah, absolutely. The inspector, they're the final set of eyes on that room. So it's their responsibility to catch anything. Obviously, we're human, so things could get overlooked from time to time. So it's their job to catch those things, no matter how big or small it could be, just so it doesn't get released to the guests. And then obviously the guests are the ones having to deal with that. So, so yes, it's their position there to inspect the rooms, just to make sure that everything is clean to perfection, and so the guest is ultimately satisfied with their experience.
Cool.
And then your supervisor position for housekeeping?
The supervisor basically is over the inspector. So kind of like you had said, it's kind of one's over the other. They're there for daily supervision, doing schedules. Supervisors can jump in and be inspectors. Inspectors can jump in and be room attendants. So it's kind of all a versatile role if needed, but they're overseeing typically a tower, since we have the three towers, and a team within that tower.
And then what about the HR coordinator trainer? Is that somebody to be working with the two of you?
Yes, which I feel like is a huge selling point right there.
Right?
So yes, they would actually get to share an office with us.
Oh, cool.
And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a lot of fun to work with.
Amanda, do you agree? Do you concur with that?
I do agree. Actually, I look forward to coming to work every day because of that. So
I'll tell you later. Okay. So that role, like I said, it really is. It's working closely with Amanda and I, but also with the HR director. Currently, because we are doing construction and things are being moved around, they would sit in the office with us. So, but they're responsible for onboarding start to finish. And then a big portion of what they do is the new hire orientation. So someone that is enthusiastic, that can get people excited about the opportunity, the company. That's kind of what we're looking for there.
Okay.
So we actually have someone in that. It's a backfill. We actually have someone in that role right now. So we're losing her on the 13th, but looking pretty aggressively for the next person.
Cool. Well, again, we're talking with Tasha and Amanda from WinStar Hotel. They've got several positions open, and we've got this all posted, the links and everything, where you go to winstarhotel.applicantpool.com/jobs. So next on our list here, we've got a lifeguard, which that's kind of obvious what that one does. Also, some loss prevention and some maintenance positions.
I want to hear more about the lifeguard.
I'm sure no speedos, no.
No, why would you
No,
say that?
no, there's a,
You need Speedo.
yeah.
You'd be perfect for it. So yeah, lifeguards pretty much
Mandatory. That can be an entry-level position. Just have to be responsible, obviously, because people's lives could be at stake for it. But that is something that we would certify a good candidate for that position. They don't have to be certified prior to hiring on. That is something that we could get them certified. And they could be 16 to apply for that. We provide all the required tools that they would need to be successful in that position.
Cool. What about
the loss prevention associate.
Yeah.
For that one, so they are essentially the security for the hotel. So lots of walking and talking for that one, just kind of making a presence on the property. They are responsible for any sort of lost and found property. Of course, we have just under 1,400 rooms, so sometimes items are left behind. So they're responsible for maintaining custody and control and trying to get those items back to the guests. They also will assist with any sort of first aid problems if someone slips or trips out here and gets injured. They're kind of the first on scene to assess the situation, to see, do we need to call EMS? Do we need to, take further action on that? And then make the appropriate call for that. And then also, if there's any sort of guest, say someone is getting out of line or any issues that maybe police potentially need to be involved in, they're kind of there to make that call, to try to diffuse the situation, see what we can do to try to make the guests happy. If it's something out of their hands or any sort of disturbances, obviously, they'll get the local police involved. And at the end of the day, we do work in hospitality. We are working at a hotel. So we are still here for our guests. So you have to be, while they do look for someone to have maybe a security or first responder type background, that's not ultimately an absolute requirement. They do also want someone that does have customer service experience, because they have to be able to talk to the guest, to try to make them happy at the end of the day too. So that's kind of what that is. As the loss prevention supervisor, they are going to be over the loss prevention associate. So that's kind of self-explanatory there. So, and then the maintenance engineer, I guess if we want to just keep rolling along there,
Sure.
The maintenance engineer, they are responsible for the preventative maintenance for the property. So just the general upkeep of the rooms. Say there's a hole in a wall or a piece of tile that's cracked and needs repaired, or even light bulbs, or it's just a little bit of this and that. So kind of a jack of all trades type person is an ideal candidate for that. Don't necessarily have to have any certifications in electrical or plumbing or anything like that. Obviously, we would source that out to companies for that. But just general maintenance and repair knowledge of that type of stuff would be our ideal candidate. And if they could find someone that is has some hands-on experience, they would be willing to train that type of applicant. But really just looking for some people that do have some either apartment make ready or remodeling type of experience with that. Obviously painting as well, just the general upkeep and maintenance for our rooms.
Awesome. Well, again, we're talking with Tasha and Amanda here from the WinStar Hotel. Again, making sure that everybody understands it is the hotel and it is not the actual casino part of it. Now, Tasha, one of the things you wanted to mention, that you have all these jobs at the WinStar Hotel, but you also have a sister property that you wanted us to bring up that also have some positions. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Thank you. So we actually have a sister property that's probably just a couple miles down the road off near the hotel. It's called the Inn. They have about 100 rooms, so it's a small hotel, but we actually do the hiring for them as well. So that website, the winstarhotel.applicantpool.com, you can find those there. So just if not to confuse anybody, that is our sister property, and we do hire, housekeeping, front desk, very similar positions, just at the location down the street, but still with Winston Hospitality. So the property management company for the hotel. So you would still be the same employee, just at another location.
Okay, well, I think we've got 4 more positions, and then we can let you guys get back to hiring some folks. How about that? So, again, that website you were talking about, the winstarhotel.applicantpool.com/jobs. You can check out all the jobs we've talked about. But here are the last 4 we've got: night auditor, operations night manager, PBX operator, and utility engineer.
Yep. So unfortunately, one of those 4 are filled, and that's the PBX operator. I don't know that I need to go into that now, but it's under the front desk umbrella. It's kind of like the switchboard, but no longer available. So sorry if y'all are interested in that. Night audit, which is also under front desk, is essentially front desk, but it's through the night. So going into from 11 to 7. So when it goes into the next day, that position does a lot of reporting. So someone that has strong technical skills or is able to kind of navigate through systems easily would be ideal in that position. Ops night managers, calling all ops night managers. This one's been out there for a while. This is the purple squirrel.
Hold on. You got to explain that purple squirrel. You got to stop there.
Come on, Big Dave. You don't know what the purple squirrel is?
Purple squirrel? What is that? No? Is it like a unicorn? The unicorn position?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
That one's been up there. We've had them on the hook. It's like the one that got away, and it keeps getting away.
Yeah.
So if you are interested, and if you're in a hotel, you know what that person does. It's overnights, and you're basically the man or woman in control. You're overseeing, housekeeping. You're overseeing front desk. It's essentially like being an AGM or like the GM of the hotel, but on the night side. Doing, reporting, follow up, giving that information to the GM and the AGM for the next day. So it's a pretty big responsibility, but yes, we have been looking very aggressively for that one. So if anyone is interested, please go out there and apply. We are checking daily for applications.
And then finally, utility engineer.
Finally, the utility. Now, the utility is part of the engineering group. So it's typically, it's right above the lead. It's right above the PM engineer, sorry. And they typically have some type of certifications. Maybe it's HVAC, maybe plumbing, those types of things. So they're just a little bit more experienced within engineering. Just it would be a natural progression for someone possibly as a PM engineer to go into that engineering role.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, there you go. There was 19 jobs that we went over, but 2 of them are already taken. So that's why you cannot wait. If you're interested in any of those positions, now's the time, because they look at these, as they said, they look at your resumes and applications every single day. And if they find the right person, they're pretty quick about it. Within a week, you could get started, they said. So let's talk about that application process. So you go there, you go online, you fill out the application. Then maybe do they get an email or do they get a phone call from you if they're a candidate you're interested in?
Yep, we'll call them directly
to
schedule a time for them to come in and complete some of our paperwork. And then we have kind of a pre-screened questionnaire, some questions that we knock out, whether or not they're able to work weekends, holidays, because that is something you have to do in hospitality. We all do it. So just kind of some knockout questions, getting to know the person, see if they would fit in, that dynamic. And then we would pass them along to the hiring manager.
Excellent. Well, Tasha and Amanda, thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon to talk about these jobs. Hopefully some folks out there, the Mad Rock Nation and Katy Country listeners and KLAK listeners will know about those jobs now, be able to go online. And again, as you said, you've got not only the featured employer we're talking about, the WinStar Hotel, but you also your sister one, the Inn that you called it, that you also hire for that. So maybe somebody could, within a week, get a job from watching this video. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Anything we haven't talked about? Anything we need to cover that we haven't already?
Nope. I mean, this is full-time opportunity with benefits, room for growth, 401k, a great family environment.
We have the new
We do-
hire incentive on this as well.
New hire incentive bonuses. We've
Nice.
got referral bonuses, lots of recognition that we do within our company for their employees. So if you have not already, please check us out. We would love to at least have a conversation with you.
Yeah, again, you can go online there and actually apply for any of those jobs we talked about, except for those two that are already taken. Just go to that windstarhotel.applicantpool.com/jobs. Now, again, thanks so much to Tasha and Amanda. We'll let you get back to work now and hiring some folks. And we want to invite you to be a part of next week's live virtual broadcast that we're going to do on here. But again, thanks to Texoma Medical Center, our sponsor for our Back to Work Wednesdays, something we're going to do every Wednesday at 1 p.m. here in the month of July. More information up on our websites there that you can check out at madrock1025.com, 931kmkt.com, or 975klak.com. Thanks for watching. See you next week.